What is going on, everybody? It is Craig, and I am back from New Jersey Horror Con, and I got a pretty cool haul. I'll be honest, I tried today. I filmed an opening video in the car. I'm like, I've never done a con video. This is going to be a time. And then I got there, and I realized with my phone I couldn't just pause it and go back to it. And I don't really know enough of how to connect all those YouTube clips, those videos together. So, unfortunately, you won't get that, but you'll definitely get this. And I'll be honest, this was, for me personally, I was going to say, probably the second best con I've been to for me personally. The first one was a random Monster Mania, but it had nothing to do with the con. It was because all my boys from Texas came up. But as far as a pure con goes and my enjoyment and the people I interacted with, I also got to share it with my roommate and my sister, who's also a roommate, but, so that was awesome. I did not really buy any, well, that's not true, I did, I got some pins, so I'm lying already. But we'll get to that. I guess we'll get to that first. Before I show you the signatures I got, I did get a bunch, and for the first time ever, I got a bunch of pictures with everybody, too. I don't know why, just I had done it before, and I guess it's one of those things, it's a cool memory to be able to have to look back on. But when I walked in the vending area, one of the first tables I saw was puncture wound pins. And I used to be it's crazy pin collector. Right now I probably have a couple of thousand horror pins. I don't really buy them too much anymore, but every now and then there's some that are cool that I'm like, you know what, I gotta add this. And a lot of those lately, with a couple of exceptions, have been from puncture wound pins. So just to do these real quick, I watched it, I saw this on the site for a while, but I got a chance to get in person, get a discount for getting all three. We're getting three, so we have, from Brain Damage, we have Alma. Very, very nice. My boy's actually at a con in Texas right now, and the guy from that movie is there. I also had to get Linnea Quigley, Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. Very cool. And the last one is Ken Fury from, obviously, Dawn of the Dead. And two of these individuals I met today, so very neat. That was it as far as items we bought. I bought, my sister and roommate got some candles. And I guess we did get some fudge on the way home. But aside from that, everything's autograph related. And I did bring a lot of stuff with me. There were a couple of people I took stuff off the table and just took an 8x10. I'll show you them first. And we'll start with the previously mentioned Ken Fury. I know it's Fury, I know I'm mispronouncing it. I like having personalized autographs. The ones you're going to see after the next one, none of them are personalized, but that's because they were being added to pieces that weren't personalized already. And I'm a little OCD. But I am going to give you a quick story with this. This is a Craig video, and it's from such a cool thing, so it'll be a little bit longer. Those who ride with me are used to it. But when I went around to take the picture, he was sitting in this little black folding chair, and there was one right next to him. Now, maybe you can't tell on camera, I'm pretty sure you can. I see a tiny black folding chair. I know that's not going to be for me. And I tell him, I'm just going to stay. I don't, trust me, if I sit on that, I might not get up. And so he stood up, and I felt bad because he looked like his knees were hurting him, or maybe he was sitting for a while, but that was awesome. And then he told me a story how he was at a con, and he was sitting in one of those chairs too, and slowly the guy next to him, he's like, I think this motherfucker's getting taller. He might not have coasted. I don't want to add, want to say he did if he didn't. And then he realized his chair was sinking. I just said, well, if that was me, I would have realized right away. But that is neat. I already have an 8x10 of his, but you know what? I get personalized. That's such a cool story. That's the beauty of meeting people at cons. And the next one, this is the only one, and now I got to think about it real quick. The only one of the autographs that I got that is not horror related. Although technically she was in American Psycho, so I guess there is that. But I loved the movie Pump Up the Volume from back in the day, and I got it for no other reason than that, and she was a sweetheart. Here we have, from Pump Up the Volume, also the other one that is personalized to me, Samantha Mathis. And those of you watching this video that never saw Pumped Up the Volume, and I get it, it's an older movie, I highly recommend it. Her, Christian Slater, very fun anti-establishment high school movie, which probably would touch a lot of people today. So the next thing I'm going to show you, this was a spur of the moment. I'm sitting in my bed 20 minutes before leaving, and I'm looking around my room like, is there anything else I want to bring to get signed? What do I do? Yada yada. And I saw my Super Freddy figure. I really wanted to do something with the fact that there were so many people from Dream Child there, but I didn't want to get a cast. Try to do a cast piece, just because I don't have wall space. You only have so much wall space with the cast pieces, and so I don't want to try to force something to fit somewhere. But I did grab my Super Freddy figure, and the Super Freddy figure by NECA. It was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. However long ago now. But inside of this, you had a portrayal of Super Freddy. And I'm showing you a little bit of it, so I guess I'm spoiling the signatures. But Super Freddy was not played by Robert Englund. He was not in costume for that. This is Michael Bailey Smith, who is Super Freddy. So I had him sign it with the quote talking about faster than a bastard maniac, or Super Freddy, signed his name. Beautiful. So then the only other one I went to, and I didn't get a photo for this guy, and I really should have, because he's the only one I didn't get. But Joe Seeley, who played the comic book guy who turned into a superhero and thought he had killed Freddy, and then Freddy became Super Freddy, and then they attacked each other, and obviously he died. But this to me is the type of piece that if I saw like a Mintix or have CSR have it up with something, I'm like, oh, that is so freaking cool. And the fact that I took something off my wall, got done myself, had the experience, this is awesome. So that was, again, not planned initially. Here is the next one that wasn't planned, but I saw Bill Moseley was there. He was actually the one I really wanted to make sure I got a picture with. That's also why I wore the shirt. I was looking, this was the only Bill Moseley shirt I could find. I couldn't find one from TCM2. So I thought it would neat. Max Cade, Fight Crate back in the day, unfortunately. Fight Crate back in the day. But I have tons of Bill Moseley autographs already. I mean, not tons, but I have them on a TCM2 poster. I have them on a 3 from Hell poster. I got them covered. But I still wanted to get something signed, meet him. And I showed him something that he said he hadn't signed before. He's from Australia, so maybe that's part of it. Maybe people don't. But I got the bobblehead of the Titio character from Charlie's Farm. I actually got it from a trade with Chris Soon, the director. He sent me this signed, and I traded him a custom figure of Charlie that my boy Blind Minnick, Last Chance Customs, great work made. And I was selling at the time because I was in had to get some cash. Bad situation. Well, not bad situation, but you'd rather sell stuff than have to borrow money. You know how it goes. But even then, I'm like, when he's like, you know what, I want you to have this. So, and he's like, I can't sell it to you because it's, you're moving. You wrote it too. So we did this trade. He sent me his bobblehead. He also sent me a signed copy of the Blu-ray. And so now that's what I had Bill Moseley sign. And Bill Moseley signed it right up front. And for those of you who don't know about Charlie's Farm, you got to check it out. And I actually talked with Bill Moseley for honestly a decent 2.5 minutes, which doesn't sound a lot, but he's taking the time because he was talking about, oh yeah, I did another Australian horror film. I'm like, I know, Boar. And then he's like, yeah, and then we're talking about that. And I was even asking about some stuff he has coming up. We even talked about, was it Natty's Knox? We talked about it. It was very, very cool. That experience is definitely, you look at SIG, you have that connection. I loved it. I am going to start doing more of that, more of the in-posted signings. I haven't done a ton of it before. So those are that. And then here's the last random one. And after this, I'll get to the ones that I planned. That was my motivation behind going there. And I will tell you this. I am a big guy. You see me sitting here. But I'm also a pretty tall guy. I am not used to ever looking up to people. And this individual, when he stood up and walked around, I felt very hey, how you doing up there? Even though it's only a few inches on top, but it still seemed like, damn. I had the print you're about to see. I've had for a long time. I forget where I got it from. Probably somewhere like Mintix. But I have this 3-piece signed by the lovely ladies from Halloween. Rob Zombie, obviously Scott Taylor Compton, Daniel Harris, and I forget the other name. I know I'm a horrible person. But I had to add, even though he's not pictured, I had to add Tyler Mane, and that's him. And I got my picture next to that son of a bitch. And one, he was super nice. Like, I don't know what it is about the tall guys. The other guy who was tall that got me that way a little bit, but didn't seem as imposing was when I met Derek Mears back in the day. But this is cool. So now I got Tyler Mane to go with these 3. You know, if I see something coming up with some other guys, I probably, if I was thinking about it, should have just put Ken Ferre on here. You know, but you know what? I'm glad I got to get the one personalized, so that's the plus there. So, what was my main reason for wanting to go to con, getting tickets, etc.? Night of the Demons reunion. And there was a few things that I wanted to do. There were originally going to be 5 members from Night of the Demons there. One, unfortunately, Cade Powell, she had to cancel. She's the female lead. Although, I don't think there's really a lead in that movie. You know, so it was only 2 that I didn't have for one poster. But I still needed them for something else. So, here we go. I bought with me first this. I had this hanging up outside. It was framed. I took it down for the con. And it was signed previously. I had the 2, Angela and Linnea. I had them on there. And there's cool quotes. You know, you have the, you know, do you have salad balls? And you have the, what is it, the party just begun, Angela. So I had to add the 2 that I was able to add. Okay, we're going with Roger's character down here. I did want a quote. I was very happy. Everyone gave a quote. No, it wasn't a, you got to do extra. You got to do this, which I would have. I understand that. It takes more time, etc. But Roger signed it. This is a House of the Dead. And then his character, and then Alvin. And his last name as well. And then from Stooge, who, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know why I thought Stooge, Hal Havens, was a big guy. He always came across as a big guy watching the movie. I watched it yesterday before the con. And he's not a big guy. He is like up to my shoulder. And that surprised me. But anyway, amazingly nice guy. I am signed 2 different things for me, so I'll get to the other thing in a second. And I wanted a quote on this one and the other one, but different quotes just because why not? And the quote I had him say was, "Eat a bowl of fucks." And he signed it, and that is phenomenal. How? So I have this. I would like to add anyone I haven't been able to, since Powell was scheduled to be at this con. NJ Hart is pretty good at bringing people back, so maybe I'll see you again later. Maybe some of the other people who are still around might pop up at a con, although admittedly I don't know if there was anyone who was deceased. And then the last thing I got was something that I had to rebuy, because this was something too, like the Charlie's Farm thing I had sold, or was selling anyway back in the day. And I did sell it. But for this con, I wanted to get one and get signed. So we got the 2-pack from Night of the Demons from Scream Factory. I wish I still had my Angela. I don't. I would have got that signed too today. But we got signed by, again, Hal and Linnea. And they both gave quotes. Linnea gave her salad ball quote. Because I was thinking about a lot of things she's saying. I'm like, you know what? I want you to go, what one do you want? And she said the salad ball. I'm like, okay, salad balls it is. And then Hal went with a different one. And this one is a little bit of funny to me because it's also a joke with some of my friends, because the guy on Instagram who used it as his hook. But Hal, if you remember when he grabbed Roger and threw him in the space where he found the mirror, it's like, I don't want to go in there. I don't want to. He's like, be a man. And there's an Instagram guy who'll say stuff and at the end like, be a man. Very funny to me and my friends. Probably not to you. So be it. Or maybe you know who I'm talking about. But, so he put be a man, and he signed it again. This is freaking cool to me. So, the 2, now Linnea didn't give her last name. Again, not the end of the world. Hal doesn't really either, but he does the big circle with the slash, so what have you. But she did put the full quote. So, I guess that's how she likes to sign it, because it doesn't take as much time as a quote does. It was awesome. I will say this, there was nobody. There might have been a couple of handlers who weren't all sunshine and rainbow, but there was nobody who was, rude or offensive. The crowds were great. Even when there were a couple people running late, like Renee was running late, I strongly recommend. And this is my 3rd time NJ HorrorCon, I had so much fun at this one. I definitely got more things signed. I got built more pieces out. I also, again, got to share it with a lot of people I care about, so that was a lot of fun too. But if you made it to the end of this video, hey, I appreciate you watching, and highly, highly recommend. I do have a bunch of pictures with all these people. I know there's a way to put pictures in a video. If I can figure out, I will. Otherwise, if you follow me on Facebook, you can check them out because I'll put up an album there. Peace out, everybody.